I'm
All
guessing,
right, I'm gonna, it's 7:16, and I think
Yeah,
at this
let's
point,
move on.
I don't suspect we may get other people, so I'd like to call it to order, the meeting to order at 7:16 tonight, and kind of go through things expeditiously.
I think it's an awesome idea.
Okay, we start off as always with public comment, and I do not see anyone from the public present. So I take it as no comment, so we will move on. There were minutes that were sent out. If people would like, I can post them on the screen. If they didn't have a chance to look at them, do people want to see them, or can we proceed?
We can proceed.
Well,
I
anyone?
mean, I can.
good for me.
All right.
Aaron, would you like?
I guess that's a pass. Eric is a thumbs up. Okay, so we don't need to, I don't need to screen share them. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
A motion
Our
to
last
approve the
meeting.
minutes.
Frank makes the motion to approve. Is that seconded?
Second.
Okay. Frank and Mark. Okay, any comments? Seeing, hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are adopted unanimously. We normally move then to our treasurer's report. There's no treasurer to report. So, however, we now also have things reduced to a link that are always published in the minutes so that people have the opportunity to go on to that link and see where we are update-wise. As best as I can tell, I don't think anything has substantially changed. We haven't had any occurrences that I know of, and probably little income. So I suspect that it's a pretty stable financial situation. However,
Has anyone heard anything from Nicole? I mean, is she okay? I haven't seen her myself physically, so I don't even know how she's doing.
Yeah, other than her responding to a couple of emails, I have not seen her either.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I would suggest that it would be useful if she can't come to meetings, at least she like submit a written report so that we could at least review it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, that's why I was saying, Mark, now that we have this link, you can go right onto the spreadsheet.
So she's already posted it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So it's just always updated, right? So
All updated.
So she refers to it when she does give a report, and I always include it just in the minutes, so you can always, anyone can just kind of link to it and see where we're at. So we're not in the dark.
Right. I mean, the only shortfall is that we can't ask questions if we have any.
That's true. Well, we'd have to do it by email or otherwise.
Which is still an option. So
Yeah,
I mean, have you all looked at the updated version? Does it look okay, or anything that caught your attention?
Well, what we can do is I can, hold on a second. Let me, I've got, bear with me one sec here.
Sure.
So here it is. Actually, let's see. This is actually, well, it's got the balances.
It says October here, or 2021 starting balance. So So if we,
No, it's got October, then it's got the 2021 starting balance, and then it's got an ending balance.
but it doesn't say when in 2021. Would we have any idea when that is?
Well, I think the ending balance is our current balance.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be our current balance.
so she keeps it up to date. She
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
makes any change.
So I believe that we can, according to this, last edit was made on August 5th. So as of August 5th.
August 5th. Okay, that's pretty current. So we've got $2,239.77. Is that accurate?
That's what this ledger would indicate.
Okay. Okay. And as far as we know, we don't have any outstanding bills or anything of that nature.
Yeah, Stephen, could you go on the bottom tab? Could you click the PO and invoices?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay. So it lists invoices, and I guess if the figure is reflected there, does that mean it's paid, or how do we know?
Yeah, well, I don't think all of this looks pretty similar to the last meeting, really.
Yeah, I mean, there may not have been any updates. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't I haven't done any purchases. So if you all haven't, then there shouldn't be anything new here.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always curious about money because I'm the treasurer on two different nonprofits. So
Right.
I just ask a lot of questions. This is my habit. But it looks like if we got $2,000 in the bank, I guess we're fine. And we
got more than two. That's good. That's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
No anticipated expenses coming up that you guys are aware of.
So, well, I mean, what I can glean from this, Mark, is that in all those accounts, they all have positive balances, right? So,
Yep.
So,
Right.
so if I read it, that there's about $1,451.48 of positive collective positive balance in our vendor accounts.
Meaning unspended. We still have.
Yes, approved but unspent.
Mm-hmm. So if we needed any money for Flurries or Bear Path or Easthampton Feed or any of these others, then it would probably.
It's there.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're in pretty good shape.
Oh, I'd say so, unless we want to build a levee, which wouldn't be a bad idea.
Oh, I thought a bean farm would be a good idea.
That was a lot of rain yesterday.
You're not happy.
That was a lot of rain. Yeah, no, this has been an interesting summer.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking.
We'll talk about your rice farm up in Conway some other time, Mark.
Absolutely. No, we're doing.
This was the year for rice. Anyone who chose rice this year hit it right on the head.
Yeah, we're harvesting next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Should I take down this share? Does anyone want to keep it up, or are we're done?
No, we're good. That's good.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So we won't take a vote in terms of adopting the treasurer's report. We'll just note that it was held.
Right.
But we can move to the operations report, that be you.
And there isn't a whole lot to really talk about because there's not a whole lot happening. I was not able to do a weed inspection, a follow-up weed inspection. So I'll have to get that done this weekend. And then I'll write something up for Margie to send out to everybody, which is basically everybody needs a weed. And I did some mowing up there just to keep things under control.
Yeah.
And,
I saw you.
Yeah. That was the first day. That day I was up there, Stephen. That was a pretty hot day, man. I had to actually stop.
I was wondering. I was just like fluid. I was just liquid.
I went and sat in my plot on my little camp stool, and I drank like it was probably a liter of water. Just that was, and I mowed some more afterwards. But yeah, it was pretty hot.
It was It was humid. And it was,
really humid. There's a term for it where I can't remember what it's called. It's the drip something, or it's like your body can't, it can't evaporate the sweat. So it never really cools down because it's as humid as your body is. Yeah.
Wet bulb.
Yeah, bulb. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Eric. I did bring a couple of pieces of some older plywood I had, and I put it down about halfway at the bottom of where D-plot is to flush the lawn more, because we didn't have any more plywood left to do that. And that's you have to run water and everything with it afterwards. But yeah, no, there's not a whole lot else. Karen left.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I was gonna talk to her. Yeah, because Karen had emailed me and I hadn't gotten back to her and about some plants for the pollinator garden. But I'm just right now I'm afraid to put anything in the ground. I just until the hurricane season's over. There's so much rain, everything is drowning. It's pretty crazy.
Except the thistle, huh?
Yeah, it seems to really like this weather. So
What's going on with D1 and the thistle patch?
I pulled all the old stuff. I want to go back and pull that. I'm kind of experimenting, and then I've got a bunch of newspaper and stuff. I want to cover it, and like just see if we can kill it. But nobody's going to be working that plot. You know,
Need any help? Give a yell.
Yeah.
hey,
Will do.
Karen's back.
Yay.
Came in a.
I don't see her yet. There she is.
Oh, I think she had an audio connection issue before. That's probably why
That's right.
now she's connected. So hopefully that works. Welcome, Karen. We missed you.
Hey,
Glad you're
Had
back.
a little trouble there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Now we got you.
Karen, I was just talking about you because you'd emailed me and I hadn't gotten back to you, about plants. I'm kind of afraid to put anything in the ground right now because it's just so freaking wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got stuff that's in pots, and I got especially a lot of rudbeckias of black-eyed Susans, but I don't know if I want to put them in the ground right now, and we'll just see how this goes. If we don't get them in before fall, and I was just starting an article from a person who's in charge of some major gardens down in New York City, actually, and about actually doing fall plantings for perennials and stuff. So if it looks like things will dry out, we could put some stuff out there. But I think the phlox that I have, and I really want to dig it up and get it out of my garden, that we might have to wait till spring.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've got some really healthy plants, some really healthy stuff. So I'm just afraid to put it up there right now. My
Yeah.
area in my yard is draining pretty well right now. So, I mean, my tomatoes are doing great at the house. The ones up there, I just feel like I need a lifeguard for them or something. It's pretty rough. It's a pretty rough year. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the 10th year up there. This is one of the worst years for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what is needed for pollinator going forward besides donations?
Let's do this, Mark. That's a good question, but let's finish up with Frank's and we'll get
Finish up with
to
me.
Karen's.
So other than that, I don't have a whole lot more to add in terms of operations.
Okay. Thank you. Outreach, Margie's not present. However, I can, and people probably saw it because I think I copied other people. So we do have a new gardener as of September 1st. And he's taking C7.
Next to me,
Oh, is that the big patch?
I think I'm going to buy him a yard of compost as a gift.
There you go.
Well, I did tell him that C8 had been available.
Yeah, no, that'll never happen
If he was
again.
just here earlier, he just, you missed it by a few months.
That'll never happen again. And he can't do anything with that plot right now. I have weeded in that plot and
Yeah.
it's so wet. I didn't even go up there today, but he's not going to be able to do anything there. If he weeds it right now, he'll lose another quarter of the dirt there because it's just going to be mud clots on the roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should reach out to him because
Yeah. Well, he was there. It was really nice. He was there with his family, and so now he has a key.
Cool.
And I suggested that he might just turn it over.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing right now. But you couldn't even do that after last night. Oh my gosh, that was like probably 4 or 5 inches of rain.
Yeah.
So once
Wow.
it dries out, could he just like mow it and then have it rototilled, or what do you think?
Yeah, I would. I mean, if I spoke with him, I would probably tell him, because I was going through about maybe 5-6 days ago, and I was trying to selectively pull the weeds that were going to seed, just to keep them under control. Yeah, some of that stuff you could probably you could till it, but you couldn't till that. That won't be tillable for a week.
No.
At least it is that plot's that wet. It's a sunken kind of plot, just from the way people have gardened it, and I have watched it happen. No, that plot really needs probably about a good half yard of new soil, compost, whatever, just to kind of level it off again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Jacob, right?
Yes, Jacob.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out to him. I'll get his email.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay. So external outreach. That'd be you, Eric.
Yep. Did a couple posts. Post the weekly donation stuff. Gonna do a post about the art orchard being our neighbor. I took some photos and then just forgot to put them online. It's really cool up there if you haven't been yet.
It's totally cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
This is a good installation.
Don't go for the next couple days. If it's like our garden, it's wet up there. They have some wet parts in the back. Last week it was wet, so I imagine it's a swamp right now. But it's cool. Yeah, I don't have anything else really planned. Some photos. Maybe we'll do a welcome to Jacob. That would be nice. I don't know. Just kind of easing out the year. I don't really know what to do to get people motivated about the garden at this point. I mean, we don't have the problem of we don't have problems of people leaving the hose on as much. I don't think.
That's good.
And I haven't seen the shed unlocked, so I mean that's mission accomplished.
Actually, I did come across the shed. It was really unlocked, but I think the person thought it was locked because it was kind of like the handle was turned correctly. Just the inner cylinder hadn't been turned all the way.
Oh, okay.
That at least there was at least an attempt there. So I'm not. Wasn't
we'll
like
give that a strike one, and if it happens again,
the door was
we'll post
flying
about it.
open or anything like that. So it wasn't that bad.
We don't want to rush to shaming people too quickly.
No. I would place a hold on that.
Yeah.
All right. So Mark, donation garden.
Yeah, well, we've had some production there, amazingly. I think maybe the ground is a little higher up there. Not a super amount. We had beans come in, which was good, but they kind of came and went. We had a couple of pickings. Cucumbers were pretty decent for a while, and they're kind of finished right now. We're still getting some cherry tomatoes. We've had some regular tomatoes. Not abundant, but some production, which is nice. And we're getting Swiss chard coming in and kale right now. Unfortunately, as Stephen will attest, this is about most of what we're getting, and it's not very much because we're not getting a lot of donations from other gardeners, and that's unfortunate. But given the circumstances and the reduced production this year, I'm not totally surprised. But in any case, we do our best, and I think the donation garden has been fairly decent this year. I mean, but given the circumstances.
Yeah. I agree that the garden's been pretty decent, but it's modest. Let's wait.
Yeah,
We're only doing half of what we used to.
We were
And it's modest.
people to supplement.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need. This is where we really need the supplements.
Yeah. I mean, either that or, as I mentioned to Stephen, maybe we need to expand the amount of donation garden space at some point so that we can have more production. And maybe have a lot
I did do up some numbers for comparison, and it's like, well, if just comparing the past 3 years,
yeah,
we've donated about 35 pounds less to the end of August than we had done last year, which was a little less than the year before. So
yeah,
it's less. It's as simple as that.
I mean, I'm not sure how dedicated everyone is to the idea of a donation garden. I think some of us realize that it's an important thing, especially for those in need, but I'm not sure that approach is totally shared by everyone. And that's not to judge anybody. I'm just saying,
Right.
There's only a few of us who really think about that mostly, and that becomes challenging.
And I don't want to keep making excuses. This has been a really rough season.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
There are people who just they're gone. Like, I'll send them emails that their gardens failed weed wise. We'll never hear from them again, probably. I have that feeling there's just going to be a handful that just ran up the white flag. If you hadn't really done a lot of gardening, or you hadn't had your garden already, I could see that. I could see them.
And then with the bad conditions on top of it, it's just probably really discouraging for a lot of folks. And that's understandable.
And the mosquitoes are about to explode, as if they weren't bad already.
Well,
but Mark, just to follow up on what Mark said, I think really not having somebody who can coordinate, work parties and things like that, which we've had in the past. I think that's part of it too. But we used to have 2 plots for donation, and we went down to 1.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe we just go back to 2. And that's.
Yeah, I remember the first year I came, and Grace and a few others of us showed up to do a thing, and there was a plot that was being unused, and she said, "Here, we got a bunch of squash plants," as they covered the whole thing with squash.
Yep. Now we did the same thing with one next to me one year.
The big, good ground cover. So I don't know. I think it wouldn't hurt it if we had a good crew to kind of help plan that too. I did the best I could, but obviously more ideas would be welcome.
Yeah. Well, okay. But we can expand the garden, but it takes people to.
Yeah, right.
You need people power to do that. So.
Well, I know, and the fact that it's all volunteer and people do it when they can. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just feels like it requires a little more commitment in organization, and I'm not exactly sure how to go about that.
All right, pollinated garden. That be you, Karen.
Yeah. So I did put some verbena in. It's got some weeds that need to come out. I dug up some, goldenrod and Joe Pye weed. I haven't put them in yet, but it was harder to dig them up than I expected it to be. So the roots are kind of broken up. I'll put those roots in, see if they take, but I was just talking to a farmer today, and he said I can go out in his back lot there, and if I see plants I want, he said, take them, because for him, they're just weeds. So I'll see if I can find some more back there.
Okay, so that was goldenrod. What was the other thing you dug out?
Joe Pye.
Joe Pye. Okay.
Joe Pye, yeah. The flowers on the front part of it, I've grown cleome before. Cleome should be this big branching flower like that takes, you know, a foot and a half across, and they just didn't do well this year. They're maybe because of all the water, I don't know, but they're looking kind of, they're just not looking like they would look in a good year.
Okay. So if I can summarize, the verbena was planted in,
Yeah.
goldenrod and Joe Pye were taken out, and then you were just mentioning that, what was it that's not doing as well?
Oh, Cleome. Cleome is
Cleome.
supposed to be a nice big bushy plant, but I have some at the house and I have those there, and they're just not doing well this year. I gave them plenty of room to grow their natural habit, and it just isn't happening. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And that farmer told me I can go in his back lot and dig up more back there.
Okay.
I have felt kind of shy about stopping, you know, taking plants from wherever. I just felt kind of shy about doing that. So I did ask this person, and I feel more comfortable going back in that way.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's try it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Gardener feedback. Don't see any extra gardeners here. On the new business last time, we talked about removing the wood that had been piled up behind the shed, and then there was subsequent communications regarding getting a truck. Did anyone have an update on?
Apparently, Margie found a woman she knew, that woman who wanted to use our facilities for some other events, and we decided not to do that, but this person apparently has a truck available. However, I think I was the only, maybe there was somebody else who was interested. It didn't really get coordinated, and with everything, it hasn't happened yet. But I think my approach has been, I'm just going to start pulling up that wood and putting it closer to the road, so that if we can get this person's truck at some point soon, I'll contact Margie. It'll be easy to load on and take I forget where we were going to download it to. Frank, do you remember where that was? It was someplace.
Probably the transfer station over there on Route 5.
Okay.
Yeah, the Valley Recycle.
And so, okay.
Yeah, because you can go in there and just, you know, you get on the scale, like if you have a load of stuff.
And they charge you by the pound or what?
Yeah, yeah.
So my best bet would be to kind of go check in advance and find out what it might cost, because they're going to want some cash. I don't know, we'd take that out of petty cash or how we do it.
Yeah, they would want, it's all cash, and there's money in the petty cash to do that.
Yeah, well, we can reimburse.
Okay, I know where that place is. We used to take the stuff.
And I've hauled stuff there just because we were building a porch, so we had to do some demo, and they give you you'll get a receipt. It's all very official. And
is that place actually in Easthampton or is it in Northampton?
It's in Northampton. It's
Northampton.
Yeah,
but it's not far.
You can't miss it.
No, I know. I've been there before. When we lived in Whately, we used to haul our trash down there because we didn't want to pay somebody to do trash.
Mark, I'll try and mow in there too before the weekend's out.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be dry for the next few days.
I mean, now that things are subsiding with the growing season, I think I can, find some time. And the weather's going to become progressively a little cooler, so I can just get in there and start to work.
Are there any items of new business?
Did I miss the wood chips thing? Are we getting more wood chips?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't called Laura yet. I got to do that. I'll write that down right now.
Who's that from, Frank?
There's a guy around the corner from me who does tree work. I should just stop at his house and see what they do with their wood chips.
Okay.
Because sometimes they just want to get rid of that stuff.
Where did we get them from before? I forgot.
Laura knew. There was just some tree company and they would just come after a job, they just come dump them because as a favor.
Okay.
How about, we can get them on Oliver Street, no?
Oh yeah, no, there's a mountain of them there. I mean, there may be something too where DPW, because they're always cutting stuff down. There's a lot of chips there. They might be able to just next time they work somewhere, they could just come dump them there. We just need to put like a stake there with a flag on it, like this is where you would dump them. And because the last time those guys dumped, they took up like 1.5 parking spaces.
Right.
Yeah. Which we've whittled away now.
Reclaiming the parking.
Okay. Any other?
So question there, just to follow up on Karen's request, somebody gonna take this on, or shall we put a word out and see if somebody wants to take it? I mean, is it gonna
Well, I
happen?
think that Frank said he was going to contact Laura.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a hold of Laura first and
Okay, we'll get a
see
report.
if she's still in contact with those folks.
Okay. And then,
Hey, Margie sent an email too, so she said she just got home. It was like 7:20. Unexpected events, and she's not going to be able to join the meeting. She says, FYI, there's not much to report besides the new gardener in C7.
Yeah. Let me add one other thing to that with Jacob, is that he is, Marty mentioned about him taking on the weeds, but in addition to that, he's interested in doing a seed catalog too.
what's that, Stephen?
That's keeping a at the beginning of a season. We kind of done it other times, like a seed exchange.
Oh, yeah.
How does that work? Not
It's like a
sure.
library, except it's seeds instead of books.
Well, see, yeah, they had a seed library going at the library here in Easthampton for a while, or the seed bank, I think is. I don't know what ever came of that. That was 6 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So is this person projecting that this would happen as a sponsored by the community gardens? And if so, we're
I think he mentioned it because it's something he's interested in pulling together.
okay. He hasn't
A
really,
member of the community garden.
he hasn't totally designed the project yet. He just has the concept in mind.
I think my sense is from our discussion that he's got some vision about this and maybe some experience too, possibly.
Maybe we could invite him to our next meeting.
Yes. Maybe make a point about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any other business?
I don't have any.
Oh, time for Frank to get his supper.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So I believe our next meeting is the 6th. Is it? Hold on. Let's see.
I know I took my calendar to school.
October 7th.
7th, yes. It is the 7th. 7th at 7.
Sounds good.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second that.
I'll second it.
All right, Karen, everyone's in on that one. Yeah, I'll get my dinner too. So
Oh, you didn't either. Oh, goodness.
that's been a succession of Zoom meetings.
Guys, oh boy.
All right. Well, we're at 7:51, and the motion to adjourn passed unanimously, so we stand in adjournment
Okay, we'll see you all up at the garden.
until October 7th at 7 p.m.
Bye, everybody.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.
Everyone.